Hello, children. I welcome you to the first session of the chapter Livelihood in Urban India. Now, urban areas refer to towns and cities. Here, we come across rich industrialists, small manufacturers, working class people, unskilled laborers. See, in rural areas, the main source of livelihood is agriculture, but this is not so in urban areas. In urban areas, we see rickshaw pullers, vendors, industrialists, teachers, doctors, lawyers, and more. Of course, the income here is high in comparison to the rural areas. The standard of living is high. Now, there's a girl, Tista. She has come to spend her vacation with Aunt Manisha and cousin Ahana. Now, since her aunt is working, she has a domestic help. The aunt has a domestic help whose name is Sushma. Now, through Sushma, through this case study, let's try to understand. See, Sushma does course like cleaning, washing, sweeping, mopping, and she charges rupees 1,000 for each work. She works in four houses. She comes to the four houses as per the convenience of the employers, right? And she migrated from Uttar Pradesh in search of better employment opportunities. She lives in a rented house, and her husband is a driver. They have two kids, and they go to government schools. And her day usually begins around 4. She fills water in the common from the common tap. She does her household work, her own household work. She completes that, and then she prepares food for everyone, and then she leaves. By 2:30 she returns home, she eats, she rests, and she cooks in the evening. She cooks the evening meal, and she also does some embroidery. Uh, then, of course, the life is very very difficult. Now, with the help of one of her employers, she has opened a saving account. So see, she's uneducated, and so, or she's illiterate, so she needs someone's help to get this bank account open. So this shows lack of independence when a person doesn't get education opportunities. So when education is not imparted, then there is always lack of independence. Then she opens, and now she tries to save half of her income in the bank, but then almost every alternate day she goes to her village for a month, and as a result she loses her job. So see, there is a lot of job insecurity, plus there is a lot of carelessness on her part also. Yes, almost every alternate day she goes to her village for a month. So eventually, of course, the employer would get frustrated and would retrench her from the job. So see, her job is insecure, she is not literate, there is lack of education, and then there is lack of sincerity also, right? Now let's see the life on the streets. Ahana, the cousin, and Tista, they took a round of the city. The street was buzzing with activities. Buses, taxis, cars, and auto rickshaws honked, right? uh, there they saw florists, cobblers, barbers, people selling objects on carts, newspaper vendors. So, Antista saw shops selling tea, juice corners. So, see, street vendors play such an important role, right? Then she this hints the on the kinds of hardships these men and women brave to earn a living. Now, people standing under large shady tree in such scorching summers to sell objects such as tables, chairs, boxes, lampshades. Now, they also saw vendors vending vegetables, fruit vendors. Some of them were selling them on handcrafts, right? While others had a temporary structure like with cardboards and canvas. Now, Anna and Tista stopped at a coconut vendor's stall. He was just a 14-year-old child. So, children are also pulled to earn livelihood because of poverty. His name was Bhiku, and he earned rupees 250 to 300 a day. His father and brother sold vegetables at the other end of the street. His two sisters, mother and grandparents lived in the village and took care of a small piece of land they owned. So see, actually, uh, their other family members are in the village. That means they migrated from rural areas to urban areas in search of better alternates to earn livelihood. Now, he told this boy Bhikkhu told that they reached how they reach the wholesale market or mandi by 4 to purchase. Now, they also told that hawking was prohibited in many parts of the city, right? Police forced them to dismantle their shops, so their business was suffered. So, see, they do not have they do not have pakka shops, and since they are just vendors, government and police from time to time dismantle their shops because the places at times become very crowded and it is difficult to control traffic. Then sometimes the municipal laws state that, or the municipal corporation states that they spoil the landscape. However, they too have you know right to livelihood, and so government should take initiative to give them proper place where they could sell where they could vend. Tista and Anna walked towards the bus stop. They saw the pavement dwellers, right? Of course, many regard them as a nuisance, right? But then they come from slums. Of course, they actually belong to the rural areas and they have migrated to the urban areas. They lack education, they lack skill, and then they took a rickshaw to the market. Now, the rickshaw puller introduced himself as Birju and he told that he hailed from Bihar. So, see, again, there's migration. He worked as an agricultural laborer, and um, when there is a gestation period going on, that is a difference, that is the period between sowing and harvesting, he works as a rickshaw puller. Now he has four children. So see, large family sizes is another problem of poverty, right? And he came to a city with a friend who introduced him to Mohanlal. This Mohanlal rented out rickshaws. Now, again, he doesn't live in, a very hygienic place. He shares a room with two more people. Then every morning at 7, he takes children to school. He gets a fixed income. For short trips, he charges rupees 10 to 15. For long distances, rupees 25 to 30, is able to earn rupees 300, 400. Out of this, rupees 100 to 150 is spent on food and rent, and another rupees 100 as rent for rickshaw, because the rickshaw is not his, it belongs to Manohar Lal. The rest he tries to save. He visits his village once in 2 years. His wife also works as an agricultural laborer. So see, this poverty, people who are working as unskilled laborers in urban areas are basically from rural areas. We need to start industries in the rural areas to prevent migration of the people from rural to urban areas. They are living far away from their families. It is important to develop different alternates, different set up industries in rural areas, different employment opportunities, so that the people of rural areas do not migrate to urban areas. With this, I wind up the chapter of the day. Thank you and have a great day ahead.